Hello, 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 my beautiful rejects. How are you today? I hope you are feeling rejected, but in the most positive, optimistic way possible. Hence why we are here today. And today, let me just say, I have one of the most talented human beings in this world joining me, Miss Giovonni Samuels. Woo! Thank you
Hi,
so
baby.
much. Hi, my love. What's going on?
Another day, another lesson,
Another sleigh. Yeah, all
another
those things.
sleigh. All
All
those
those
things.
things put together. Well, for all of you that may be under a rock and don't know how Gio and I know each other, we did a film called Bring It On, All or Nothing together, and that is how we initially met. It was
Hmm.
love at first sight, and
Hmm.
she stuck with me whether she likes it or not. It's really simple.
Same, same. You're not going anywhere. You know all of my secrets.
And so that's how you know we're both Scorpios. Just that little interaction right there. Right there. Just told you. Scorpios. Both of us. That's probably what was the instant like, hello, hello, Scorpio, Scorpio.
Hello.
Hello.
Ah.
Hi. Can you believe that that was in 2005 when we shot that? And we are almost 25?
No.
2025? That's insane. Especially insane with the
No.
fact that you still look the same, which
Ah, thank you. I appreciate that.
mhm, mhm.
Lots of shea butter and water and minding my business. Like I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, it really
You
does.
know, minding my business and boundaries is the best skincare routine that anybody can give you.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. I was gonna tell you to go watch one of her little Friday self-care days that she sometimes does on TikTok,
Oh,
and
yes, my Friday's facial and foolishness, where I come on TikTok and I wash my face with all my products and things that I use, and we just talk foolishness. Like, hey, y'all, come on, tell me what's happening in your world, and just kind of decompress for the week. You know, something fun, easy.
absolutely so necessary and so needed, especially in these new, different times that we are in currently. What is going on with this little Farrah Fawcett flip right here? That is
I
a
don't
lot.
know.
What is going
It's
on?
just one though. It's just
I
one.
was I was trying to she loves when I look like super Latino, so I was trying to give her like that slicked back, like Latin lover look. And she likes the
Mm,
shirt on me too. So I was trying to, but that's a little much.
yeah.
I think we're gonna have to push it. Whatever.
Okay.
It's fine.
Well, it's fine.
Your
It's
hair,
fine.
by the
It's
way,
work.
looks delicious and divine.
Thank you, my sister. Because I don't know how to do my own hair, so I have her. She does it for me, and I'm extremely thankful. It's
If I
just
had a
too hot.
sister, because you and
So,
I have the same thing in common. That this hair thing is just I can't figure it out after all these years. It's really hard.
but you look good. You've
Oh,
always
keep
looked
going.
good.
Stop. I mean, go
You
more.
do. You've always looked like a hottie to me. Like,
Oh God. Stop it.
you're a mess.
Well, enough of us acting a foolery. You've seen that plenty if you follow both of us. Especially
Yes.
if we're together, we try our best to capture that
Do
because
something.
it's something special moments when we get to be together. That's for sure. Um, Today I have brought Miss Giovanni on to talk about what we talk about here: rejection and reflect on it. She has been in the industry since she was a child as well, and I am wondering, what do you think comes to mind, I should say, when you think about the most impactful rejection that has really set you on the course to like who you are right now in this moment? I know it's a big question. We can take baby steps and do like smaller ones to the big one. We can start with the big one, go to little ones. It's all free play zone here.
Um, my entire career is a rejection. Let's just put it out like that. My look was always different. My features was always different. Everything about me was just different. It was a complete 180 to everything that was going on coming out. I mean, I had locks. I was natural. I didn't have a weave. I had big boobs, still have big boobs. I didn't fit the stereotype cute Barbie looking black girl. Everything about me was different. And I didn't care because I was being authentically myself. And what was for me was for me. So, of course, I heard a million no's. My Even down to getting an agent. They thought I was a boy because I didn't have any makeup. Yes, my first headshots, they thought I was a boy. So when I came into the meeting, they were like, "Where'd the boobs come from?" And I was like, "I'm a girl. My name is Giovanni. My name is Giovanni." So they automatically assumed I was just a boy.
Mm.
And then when
How
I
old were
came
you?
in there, I was 12. It was like 12, 13.
And you didn't have that
And
rack yet? And they thought you were like, when did the rack come then?
I
Because
mean,
that would be a
I
that give
mean,
me a oh, in the pictures they didn't see the rack.
right, because I had on a sweatshirt or a jacket or something. It was
And
like
it
a
was
denim
headshots back
jacket.
then too. It was
Right.
just
It was literally headshots.
mhm.
So when I came in, you know, full hearted, as you see, they're
You
like,
can't
"Where the
not see
boobs
it.
come from?" You really can't miss these D's
These.
these because I am a triple.
Oh, oh, really? These.
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 You can't miss it. I mean, I wasn't blessed this full then, but I was still pretty full. But
You could
yeah,
miss it
like
in the
my
headshot, but you couldn't miss it in
you couldn't miss it in
person.
person is pretty much what I'm saying. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they saw that I was funny. I came in funny, but they my entire career started out as a rejection. So I loved it. I played off of it. I drive off of that. Tell
When
me
were you
no.
able? When were you able to? Like, do you remember when you were able to actually shift? Unless it was innate for you, then go off. But when you were able to shift it from being taken into from a negative space into being a positive space and using it as fuel and being like, is there like, did that ever happen where it was one time that you're like,
I think um it didn't really start happening until I got later in my career because I already knew from the beginning I was different. Because I had locks, because of my features, my shape, everything. You're telling me no? Okay. Who gonna tell me yes? That was my motivation and drive from day one. But as I got older in my career and more seasoned, it was like, okay, I've proven that I'm good. I'm more than good. So why am I still getting this rejection? Why am I still having to fight after all this time where you won't even still give me a chance and you know I can do it? So, and that part was really hard to digest because you get tired. You do. You get tired of that after a while. But
it's impossible not to take it personal
it really
at first?
is.
Yeah,
At
it's part of the
first it
process.
is. It is part of the process, and in that time I had to reset myself because by then I had changed my locks, I had got a breast reduction, I had lost weight, I had did everything to try and fit in the mold, even
That you
though
could
I was
control.
good, right, that I could
Right.
control, even though I was
Mhm.
good enough before doing all that.
Yeah.
Now I'm back at the point where I was when I first started again.
Mm.
You telling me no? Okay, who's next? You telling me no? Who's next? Who's going to tell me that yes? I'm back at where I was when I started my career again.
What was there? What helped you get there? Like, how did you get to that space? Was it through the
Living
consistent
life.
reject? of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the constant. Whoop, sorry.
Ooh. That was the affirmation. It was like, yup.
Yep. No, I think the constant rejection, and after I have lived
Falling.
so much,
Going.
ooh, down. Okay, here we go. Hold up. What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? Why are you
I tell you
rejecting me
that.
now?
Right,
Why are
right. The
you rejecting
rejection
me
never
now?
ends.
It never ends.
Just
It's a
never
constant
stop.
brittle. It's, oh
I
my
can't never
God.
anymore.
Ugh.
Oh my
Are you
god.
gonna stay now?
There you go.
Okay, here we go.
It's so
Here we
funny.
go.
This is all so synonymous with what we're talking about too, though. Like even that falling, and it's like, are you gonna stay now? Okay, great. The way that you're so easy and at peace with it. I can know that when I was younger, I would have been so annoyed by that right now. I would have been like, oh, why is this happening too? Really? Like this too? I'm just trying to have it like, because of that enormous amount of just rejection and feeling like the world is just crumbling on you. The weight gets so heavy. It gets so heavy that everything starts to just feel like this avalanche and the snowball effect, and you're just like
Yeah,
plowed all the time.
yeah, yeah. No, I totally get that. I think um, most people don't know. I mean, you do, but I stepped back when I got married, and then I stepped back even further when I had my son.
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me an opportunity to live and enjoy life outside of the business. Um, and it gave me an opportunity to kind of have an emotional reset because I have been working professionally since I was 12, all the way, I mean, nonstop, back to back to back to back to back. And
Well, we didn't
when
bring it
I,
on. You already had your next gig lined up. You had
Freedom Riders,
yeah,
yeah,
like
I
yep.
literally had a week break
Mm-hmm.
and went right into shooting for Freedom Riders. And because I booked both of them at the same time. And then I had a week break because I had a family member pass away in the middle of shooting, and I told my agent I needed a break. And then I went right back to work. Like I didn't stop working because that was all I wanted. That was all I drove and lived and breathed. But you can't do this job without having a life outside of it to perform the life that you're performing. You can't, it's synonymous with each other.
It's really
And
important for young people to know that start in the industry,
yes.
because it's something that we, being young, I started working when I was 9 professionally in the same world. It's not you get those things and you're like, oh, this is just the way of life. Of course, in that process, we get rejected, like you said, all the time, and we find, you know, I think our parents were good at it, our peers, our agents, and just like, it's okay, the next one. It just weren't right for this one. It's not that you're not talented, because I think you and I, we had such high accolades at such a young age that we knew we were good at what we did.
Right.
We were great. So it wasn't that, but the other things start to filter in, the doubt, the questions, especially the older you get. Then you start to go through
Hmm.
puberty, then you start to, like all the things,
The dating.
self-identification.
Oh Lord, rejection. When I say those are two totally different things. So, rejection in business, I know how to operate in that space
Yeah.
wholeheartedly,
Been
but
doing it since you were
I'm a
so little.
teen,
It was in you.
right?
Yeah.
So, when it came to like rejection with dating or rejection from other people, I didn't know how to cope or handle that. Like, because it wasn't something that I could piece together. It wasn't something that I knew
It
how to fix.
it
It was
wasn't a
just
talent. I mean, for some
right.
people it is, but it wasn't your
But
talent.
right, it wasn't
Right.
my talent. And I was like, I don't understand.
Ditto.
I don't understand. And I couldn't understand for the longest. And that's why I'm very thankful for the relationship that I had, because I couldn't date actors because it was like we're working. It became a business relationship instead of an actual relationship. So that was like one of my number one rules. I don't date anybody I work with. No matter how much I like you, I can't date you. This is not going to work. And I didn't want my drawers on the street. Let's just put it out there. I didn't want my business out there.
And it's so interesting that you didn't, but like it's just such a way of life and a necessity and such a political ploy and stunt and a part of the business to have your
Mm-hmm.
draws out the street. But yet
Yeah.
you, I wonder if that's no, because I think young artists have like that will work too. They, yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out as we talk because I maybe it's a Scorpio, but I'm the same way as you. Like I couldn't play the game. I'd rather the rejection of
Yeah.
me being authentic than me play this fake game that
There it is.
85% of the actors and actresses play in Hollywood because they're
Yeah.
living a life as a role. They're not living authentically.
No. And
And I
and
might not be
and
where I thought I was going to be, but at least I was able to be myself in this process and experience
that
life as the
part.
man that I am authentically.
Mm-hmm.
And the dating thing is still difficult. But anyways, you were saying, maybe that's a Scorpio thing and a child star situation thing we have going on. But
I mean, it just it was either what is this is a biblical scripture. What is a man to gain the world and lose their soul? And so I didn't want to be that, give so much of myself that I don't have anything, as you said, authentic for me or for my relationship with God or even just genuine people. You get so caught up in the hype of it that once this is why a lot of child stars spin out. You're so caught up in the hype of it. This is your job because this is your life because this is what it is, and every single thing that you do and move and shake becomes your agent or your team's decision and not yours.
you don't separate
you
the
you
life
don't
of the
you don't
world of work and your
exactly.
own inner world or your own outer personal world as well.
Exactly. And because of that, they break out or go to the extreme and have a whole meltdown because they've been curated so long that they have nothing authentic or genuine to hold for themselves.
Mhm. And that's because they were so afraid of rejection that they led into that space of that right there.
Exactly. Exactly. Because you're afraid of, oh, my fans aren't going to like this, or my team's not going to approve of this, or
Hmm.
you start questioning everything that made you who you were and why people fell in love with you in the first place.
When did you start to actually realize you? I mean, shouldn't say that because I'm going to say it for myself, and then, but I recognized when I was about 26, I had an out of body experience where I stepped outside of myself, and I was like, "Who are you?
Mm,
This isn't you." And that's when I started to like take myself out of the workspace and recognize myself and do the work on
mm.
me and live my authenticity and find that because I definitely couldn't find it because I was turned on, tapped in, tuned on in my workspace since I was a child,
Right,
right?
right.
Do you remember that moment for you? Because you've had it, you know.
Uh, my mom was really good about when I come home, I am a person. I am not Giovonni Samuels. Okay, go take that trash out. Okay, do your chores. You are still a person at the end of the day. Even on set, my mom was like, if they're older than you, you still say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. This is just a job. You still treat people with respect. You still do that. So that was kind of ingrained in me in the beginning, but that real heavy switch, probably didn't really occur until I had my son because I was forced to sit down.
Ah.
I was, I, yeah, I got married. Okay, cool. I didn't even take a honeymoon because I went right back to work. You think
Right.
I'm lying?
No,
I
I
we
know you, so I know it's real.
Yes, I we got married that weekend. We took 2 or 3 days off, had a little cool. I went right back to work on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Monday, I was right back on set. And luckily, I have a partner that was okay with that because we were in the middle of the season anyway. We were still working, but I think it was God's way of saying, okay, you're not hearing me. You need to sit down and rest. You're not,
Mm.
you've been going so hard. You need a reset. So, boop, you're pregnant.
Right. Because it was Savant planned in that sense, or was that literally God was
No,
like, right? It was like,
no,
and listen, you're not listening, so here.
yeah, no, because
His
the
name's
first thing that
Savant.
came out, right, right, no, 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 for real. The first thing that came out of my mouth was, "Oh shit, it's pilot season." That should not be the first thing that comes out of your mouth when you're in a happy, loving relationship and you find out you're pregnant. That was the first thing that came out of my mouth.
Yeah. I mean, I'm chilling right now because it's so heavy and it's so normalized, and I see it happen so often to so many artists, you know?
And they get burned out. And
Yeah.
and here I'm gonna drop some tea on you.
Do it. Hot, please.
I
Piping.
I auditioned until I was 8 months pregnant until I was showing, and I had to turn down 13 reasons why because I was giving birth when they were supposed to shoot. That's how much I was still working all the way up until the end. And I would go to producers read, I would go all the way up to executives, and every time they said, "Oh, it's gonna shoot this time," and I'm like, "Yeah, I can't take it. I'm sorry." I turned down major stuff because I was having a baby. And that was God's way of saying, you need to sit down or else you're going to burn out. And I
Yeah,
did.
no. I mean, a lot of you extremely talented, strong, powerful women. I know that story a lot where it was like I still showed up till I was gonna pop. I mean, when you live an artist lifestyle, you're rejected from the rest of the world, really. So you're in a really small
Mm-hmm.
space of where you
Yeah.
can thrive, survive, make money. And to have that taken away from us, we don't have the normal benefits. Yeah, SAG helps and all that stuff. But like, we don't have that different established foundation. We didn't have parents that had money, all those other little things that was like, oh, we can take a break. That's fine. We're going to have a baby. It's like, I need to live. I need to
I
live.
need to work. You
I
don't
need
work,
to.
you don't eat. That was the motto that was ingrained in me from an early age. You don't work, you don't eat. And if you don't eat, you that's on you.
Well, you don't live. So
You better fix up now.
you better go get that box of ramen or mac and cheese.
You better figure it
Figure it
out.
out. Figure it out.
So
Yeah.
my mom was an entrepreneur and an artist,
Mm,
and
mm.
my entire life, that's all I knew was you got to work, you got to work. That hustle mentality, and it's not a negative thing, but what my mom didn't teach me was rest. My mom taught
Yeah.
me a hell of a lot of a work ethic, but
Yeah.
that rest, that break, that taking time to reset so that you can come back and do your art and your work more.
Single
And
mom.
yeah, ish. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Usually it's how they cope with the
with
responsibility as well.
rejection
My mom. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that.
and the rejection of it, and having to prove something. And in that proving, like I said, it's not all bad because I'm thankful. I have a very successful career. I have, and I'm still working, but I've had to learn to rest. I had to learn to have that balance because then I can come back stronger than I needed to be for the second wave of my career.
So Savant came into this world and looked at you and you were like, "Oh, I got to figure this out. I have to figure me out because I have been on autopilot since I was 12 years old."
hmm
Yeah.
And in that, he taught me um, grace,
Mm.
uh, play, and um, just joy, you know?
Hmm.
Everybody says the same thing. That kid is really happy.
Oh my God, he's a ball of light.
But it reminded me of what I was at that age and how pure it was. And being in this
Mm,
business, I had to figure out how to strip that so that I could be what everybody else wanted to me so that they wouldn't reject me. But when I see him, I see the pure, raw version of myself.
mm.
And I'm getting back to that. And in a very transit way, it's actually helped me in my career again. And it's brought other things to me. And work has been flowing in like it's nothing now. But I needed that rejection of what was and embracing what is happening now.
And what is
Yeah,
now?
now.
We really do get stuck in those was moments, right? It's really
Mm-hmm.
easy to keep filtering our life through the past, in the past, and
Yeah.
forgetting like that now is a new moment that has been created. So be in this space. But when you've been on autopilot and patterns have served you, so you thought so often in the past, you don't acclimate and adjust to where you are now. And that can be
Mm-hmm.
really um, harmful to you.
And your development. I mean, you have so much when you grow up constantly being rejected in this business, especially as an adult, you question your self worth in a way where you lose who you are. And it's tough. You don't, how do I say this? If you don't take those pauses, those moments to experience life outside of the business, you're going to get lost in the shuffle.
A
Like
million percent.
I had a beautiful heart to heart with this young actor, and he was on the same path. He's young in his 20s, working, and he was like, I'm tired, and started shaking, and I was like,
Oof.
take a break. It's okay. And he
Well, my
was
team
like,
won't let me. They'll drop me, and then I won't have a team. And then how do I get back? And
right,
they say if you lose momentum, then you lose it all, and they don't give second
right,
chances. All of the
right.
anxiety, all
Oh,
of
oh
it.
my God. And I just sat there and gave him one of my quintessential hugs because of these boobs. And, you know, swallowed him up, gave him that love that he needed. And he was like, oh my God, I felt like I was by myself in this
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and that nobody understood what I was going through and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, honey, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. I saw it before you even said anything that this was happening to you.
Right.
You cannot be afraid if that is pulling at you. Don't reject that. If it's pulling at you to rest, rest.
That
If
was so hard.
not, you are going to go in the opposite direction and go into that road of destruction.
Been there.
As artists, our job, when our original art form becomes our job, you need a secondary piece of art that helps get you your creative flow out. I
Mm-hmm.
know that sounds real complicated, but me as an actor, that is my first love. That's my job. That's my passion. But when it becomes your work, the passion of it, the creativity of it loses its drive, its
And you won't
goal and
work
attractiveness, and
because
you
you don't
won't
have
work
that.
because
Yeah.
you don't have that anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
I paint. I I garden, I do something else creative in addition to my acting so that I still have the passion. Because I love acting to the day I die. That's never going to go away. But you don't want to get sick of what you do because of the business aspect of it. And you lose who you are as a person, as an entertainer, as an actor, as any of that. So I had to have something else in tangent just to get feed my creative need, and then I could go back into my work and do it with the passion that I used to have in the beginning and
Mm,
still be able to be business minded.
correct. That's it's a really fine line to dance on, but to find that balance and to be able to stay in that space is necessary to
It's so
thrive
necessary.
in not just this career, but in any career, in any mindset, to be
Absolutely.
quite honest, for anybody. And that's one thing that, I don't think the real world recognizes about the artistic world is that we all need that balance to really thrive in our worlds.
Yeah, we do. It I mean, art is life. That's why they say art imitates life, or is life imitating art. I mean,
It's
look at
both,
the
right?
Simpsons. Look at the
Right.
Simpsons.
Well, I mean,
They be calling out stuff.
I'm convinced that that is definitely a full Nostradamus moment writing person,
Exactly.
descendant, with Miss Cleo as their aunt.
Exactly.
And they are
Somebody
just prophesizing
somebody
through
tapping
all of
into
their
their third
scripture of The
eye.
Simpsons. It is just tapped in. It's
Exactly.
like ding, 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 brrr, ding, 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 brrr.
That look.
Look,
You can
that
look at any Simpsons episode and it will come to pass. That is wild.
talk about being tapped in. Yeah. I know you do. I know you do. And I know you have an amazing husband who is so patient and kind and supportive. And I think it helps too that he is an artist in that sense that he understands it, he
Hmm.
sees you, understands you, and you have such a ball of joy as a son. And it's so beautiful to know that he is such a reflection of you and you're a child and it's helping you remember yourself. Um, you should be so proud of yourself. You know, so many people, like you said, spin out and they don't come to this space of where you are when they have had the success that you've had. And you're also an incredible human being. And I just hope you're proud of yourself more often than not.
I'm this is that grace thing that I'm learning and giving myself. That I'm looking back at my career now because I was in that work, work, work mode for so long that I never really appreciated or looked back at what I have done. And I'm learning that now. Even with social media and whatnot, they're like, you're famous. I'm like,
Ah,
ah,
hmm,
it's not that big deal.
hmm,
Ah,
right.
like I refer to all that as my summer job. I was like, oh, it's just my summer job. This is something I did during the I did.
Summer jam.
We shot it in the summertime. So it was like I had this dual life. I would go to LA, shoot this show that was all over the freaking world, and then come back home to San Diego and go to school like nothing happened. Like that was how I
And she's
did
talking
it.
about all that, right? Nickelodeon?
Yeah, all that on Nickelodeon that I won a Kids Choice Award for,
Like,
a
yeah,
couple
those
other
things.
cool things.
No big deal. Oh, God.
Uh,
Too bad you've never been successful.
yeah. But that's I have to look now like, no, you've done some really amazing things. Like celebrate that. Look at that. People, you made an impact on people. Like we took a little day trip to Augusta, and granted it is small town USA. Went there. I was like, oh, we'll just go stop in this little small coffee shop to get some breakfast. And they flipped out. Like, oh my God, you remember that? You did that? I was like,
Hi.
can I just get my breakfast sandwich, please? I still to this day don't know how to handle that.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Some people are so good at like that, like really like so many talentless people are really good at being famous and like
Hmm.
faking it till they make it to be famous, or when they're famous, even though they have no talent, are still very like, I'm famous. Yes,
Right.
don't you know
Like,
me?
oh my God, and that, and no. I was like, can
For
I just, I just, I just want my smoothie. I just came in here to get a smoothie, my egg
right,
sandwich. I, I'm, hi, how you doing? And on the flip side of that, because I am conscious of it, it makes me feel like I can't go outside sometimes because I don't want them to have a bad experience with me because I'm human. Like, hey, you can't be perfect and famous all the time. I'm a regular person. I'm here with my kids. Just I'm going to the grocery store. I'm normal, but because of that, I try and recluse
yeah,
because I don't want the rejection of them having a bad experience or
and then to reject you from here forward because of it. Yeah,
right, because that's one thing that fans will do. They will get on the internet and say this
especially
person,
now.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
So
they'll
I'm
make up shit
very,
now even and get away with it.
I
It's, I mean, it
know
did in the past, but it's easier now. Yeah,
it's a lot easier now for that to happen, and I don't want to live my life with that because my son is amazing and he needs to be outside. The kid got a lot of
yeah,
energy,
yeah.
so I come out of my shell. I come out of the house, and I try and do my best and make sure that even if I do have a fan in the reaction, I make it as memorable in a positive way as possible, but still not to the point where I'm cooning or shucking and jiving for you out in public.
Well, 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 it is literally our job to make sure that they have good experience. Like
Right,
you do have to turn on to make sure that you are your
right,
best self, because
right.
they're a fan for a reason. And there's that other part of what you're talking about that actually makes it more effortless to just be tuned in and turned on, is when you are in this space of acknowledgement of the reality of what you live in and the
Yeah,
gratitude and the life that you currently have. It's easier to just be present in that moment and just be kind and giving and not have to turn on for that, as opposed to
right.
maybe when you were younger and you were just had all this going on and flustered that you were like, okay, I got to turn on for work now because someone's here. It's a little, am I, you know what I mean? You, does
No,
that?
yeah, no. Like I, I changed my bio title to everybody's favorite TV cousin because that was what most people saw me or recognized me as. Like, girl, you was in my house every day or every weekend. You like my play cousin. You family. And so, or they'll say, "Yo, you're a big part of my childhood," or "Yo, you had a huge impact on me. Like we grew up together." And I have to say, yeah, I grew up with you guys too. This is just as much part of my childhood as it is for yours. And what was your favorite part about it? What did you think about it? And I come at it from that perspective now when I interact with my fans, and it makes it the connection a bit more stronger for them and for me. Like I appreciate it from my end, and they appreciate it from their ends, and then we have this moment together and kind of go on.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I don't know about you, but you couldn't tell me since I was born that I wasn't like a superstar, right? Like I was like, I had been preparing myself before I was even in the industry. Like my mom put me in like pageants, and I would like walk down that thing and be like, "This is mine." Like, and you're
This is my
welcome.
moment. I
Graced
am
you with my
here.
presence, and I won
Yes.
again, didn't I? I know I did. Okay, like that's just innately been who I am, and so I don't know when and how, but from as far as I can remember, I have been preparing myself to be famous. And I thought that I was
Mm,
going to be like famous, like on the grand scale of fame. So I had been preparing myself for that since I can
hmm.
remember. Well, look at me now. But point is, like I started preparing myself for something that wasn't even, I mean, it was tangible, I guess, because then it started, working. I really thought that would have been the case. Still could be. Life isn't done, but I'm definitely ready for it. I've had a lot of time to marinate and sit on this. But because of that, it was easy for me to be ready for the interaction with people that did come, but it was even easier for me to not make a big deal out of anything that I did. So therefore, really just be like, oh, I'm not famous. The humility to make sure that I was humble through all the process, right? So that when I was there,
That's
I'd be like
it.
that humble, kind star. So like I didn't really ever really boast or be like lived in like those moments and be like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm in New York right now. Um, and I'm hanging out with my best friend Leo, who's here. He's on Broadway, which is so awesome. I can't wait to see his show on Friday tomorrow. New York, New York. And I am just now at 41. Every time I am out and there's music playing,
Mm-hmm.
I go, oh, I work with that artist. Another song. Oh, I work with that artist. Another song. Oh, I work with that artist too. Oh, I'm in that music video. Like it's like, and I don't,
Yeah.
I never, I never sat in that because it was
Mm-hmm.
just life for me. I've been
It was
doing it
business.
whole
Right.
life business, but now, like you said
Yeah.
earlier, I'm like taking a step back and I'm like, oh my god, and I
You're
wish
kind of
I would have
awesome.
played in it. Well, I've kind of done a lot.
I mean, you're kind
And
of a big deal. You're kind
but I
of
for so long have not felt that, and for so long I've gotten so much more reject than I have in my life the last 10 years that it just took me out of all of it, and I felt like I've done nothing because of that, right?
mm,
And so,
mm.
I mean, and I've done things, of course, but I'm not where I thought I would be. I'm not where I expected. What is that? I can't say right now. I'm so sorry.
Let me flip it. Let me flip it
But
because
that's why I'm doing the
hindsight is
show.
2020. Right. Hindsight is
Yeah,
2020.
because I'm not there
No.
anymore.
Right. Right. So let me flip it. Do you think you really would have appreciated it if you had it when you had
I
it?
don't think so. I don't think so. Honestly,
Exactly.
my mom was like your mom. She taught. She got compliments from everybody about how great of a kid I was. Don't get me wrong. I could absolutely be a diva because I mean, when I look back at it now in the most humble way, I was the bomb. So there was a part of me that knew that, right? So I could definitely turn into that diva mentality authentically. But like you,
Mm-hmm.
I still went to school. I mean, my mom wouldn't let me be fully in the industry because she wanted me to have a normal life. Because my peers, a lot of them are very famous now. And back then they were on their journey to fame, which I could have been a part of too. But she saw these people, not them specifically, but other people, and was like, I don't want that. Like she was terrified. She saw what was it was capable of, this industry,
Right.
this machine. And so she was
Mm-hmm.
kind enough to let me still do it, but still wanted me like you to have a normal life.
Balance. Balance.
The balance of all of it.
Yeah. And my mom and I were having a conversation a couple of weeks ago because I guess she read on the news that a mutual peer had committed suicide or something, and she was like, I'm glad that it happened the way that it did because now that you're on this second swing, you know how to operate even better and go even farther.
100%.
So I'm
100%.
I'm
And
I'm
really enjoy
thankful
it.
for this break. Yeah, that
And really
part.
present in it.
That part. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm ready for it now. I call it my great reset,
Mhm.
and I'm here. I'm
Yes,
happy.
you
I'm at
are.
peace. I'm mentally, physically, and emotionally stable and sound and thankful. Um, and I'm ready for the next wave of this.
And to get back on the topic of rejection, and that probably you had the same similar experience as me then the last since your child, in the sense of, like you said, you had to make a conscious effort to do more normal things and step out of the industry and find your way back in. So all of that is rejection. All of that is
Oh
like
yeah.
It's like, how do you get another team? How do you get another manager? And still, it's like always the no's, or I don't see you, I can't see you. And you still have to show up for yourself every day. And it's a part of that process which allows you to really be who you are right now in this great reset of your next chapter.
I think me moving to Atlanta was one of the hardest decisions I made because I felt like if I'm not there, I'm not working. If I'm not there, um, they're going to forget about me. I'm going to fail. This is the ultimate failure. But it wasn't. It was it was exactly what I needed.
Right.
And I was rejecting the business machine in my head so that I could have the life that I wanted and needed. I had to move. I had to reject that
State of
constant
mind.
grind, work, work, work. Yeah, you have to so that you could live. If not, you were gonna burn out.
It's so important
I
what you
didn't
said
I
too.
didn't want that.
You have to
Mhm.
reject things sometimes in order
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
really thrive.
Live.
You have to
Mhm.
reject that old state of mind. You have to reject that old mentality. You have to reject other people's mentalities. You have to reject the industry standard to just
Yeah.
live through your authenticity and move in your lane, in your way. And it's really hard for artists to actually do it because the numbers are so small of the people that
Yeah.
actually succeed when you to make their own path, to find their own
Mhm.
identity and say and show up like this and be haha. But it's those people that do that are the ones that you end up appreciating the most. And you
Mhm.
see them, and they usually are decent human beings as well. And that's, I think, the most powerful part of all of it, right?
And have an amazing long ridiculous career in the process because
Yeah.
they took those breaks, because they took those moments of rejecting the status quo. Like Tom Holland said, the new Spider-Man, he's like, "Yo, I do not like Hollywood. I don't like the business of it. I don't." And he is one of the biggest mega stars out there right now.
He had the like
And
biggest
he,
contract of anybody a couple of years ago, right? Like money
yes,
wise with his, yeah,
money wise,
deals.
all of that, the fame, blah blah blah. And you know what he did? He said, "I need a break. I'm deleting my social media." And that's like, "Oh, what? No, 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 no,
Yeah,
no."
nowadays that is
He's
like the
like,
biggest no-no for somebody at his stature for
he's
sure.
like,
Good for
I
him.
need a break.
Oh, he got that
I
money
need,
though. That those deals he had, he it's easier to do, let's be honest. It is a lot
yeah,
easier when that money is in your
fair,
pocket to say, I
fair,
can break the rules. I can do what I want because I'm going to set
fair.
my own standard because I'm comfortable. I did not have that leisure. I didn't come from anything, you know. I did all that and still struggled every moment,
Oh,
every day. And people are like, you look great. My favorite thing to say is try looking this good and being poor. Try looking this good and being poor.
this is what I say. Hollywood on a budget, baby. I don't say
Right,
poor. I don't want
right.
that.
But
You
in the
gonna
past, you
pour
know what
some
I
of me?
mean? Right,
Huh?
right. No,
Hollywood,
right.
right? You gonna you? I am Hollywood on a budget. This is
Hollywood on a budget.
sample sale.
And when you're not on a budget, it's really easy to go off and just go live your best life when you have those deals like Tom Holland did
Yes,
and take a break. And then
right.
you can come back in and you have the money and the resources and the connections then to produce and make your own stuff. You really get to play it by
Yeah,
your,
your own
you get to have
rules.
your own rules. So
Exactly.
people like us that have, you know, and other people that have succeeded, especially in like our age, that's kind of what happens, right? You kind of start to
Mhm.
succeed again if you have this grand reset, so to speak, or this awakening of self and this new momentum and this humility and this gratitude and this awareness.
Yeah.
You start to bring in, you start to manifest, you start to move with source more effortlessly. You become in alignment. Um, that's the fun part. And I regress to say that wouldn't take any of this back. I
Oh
would
no.
take not one thing of any of this journey that I have back. And especially the fact that you and I have been able to share so much together. So much together.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, you. I could count on my hands how many genuine industry friends that I have. Like we met in the industry, but we're genuine friends outside of the business. I don't think there's too many people that can really say that, because they don't have that same the growth, the mindset, the mentality, and um, birds of a feather flock together. We're both on that same journey of peace and love and just being a decent human being. And I think people really shun that because, oh, I'm
It's not
famous,
artificial. It's
or
not fake.
right. You get so caught up in the glitz and the glamour and the Hollywood of it all that it just puts a bad taste in your mouth. And so when you meet somebody that's got those same kind of morals and kindness and love and genuineness, or authentic is the word that we've been using a lot, um, you you move together. It just comes out naturally and effortlessly, you know?
I really believe that rejection brings you into authenticity, redirection essentially from the rejection and to redirects you into your space of you.
Yeah,
And that's why it's such a big word for me. And a lot of these words are definitely played out and people say them. And I'm not one to say where they're coming from when they say that. But I know when
hmm,
I say it, it's really the genuine, simple, simplistic definition of what that word means,
yeah.
like authenticity. And through rejection, you really are able to find the clarity to find self. um, I want to touch on this because we're getting close on time, but something that I think is important is, because you've talked about it a lot, is feeling rejected for how you are physically compared to the rest of the girls in the industry. Like in Bring It On, you were the quote unquote big girl, but you were
Yeah.
very normal sized. um how were you able to overcome that ideology and rejection from the industry and be you?
I still struggle with that. It's an everyday process. You see me, I'm always in the gym every day, if not twice a day. Um, but I was meant to be that beacon, that light for other people to see that beauty is not in one size. It comes in more than one shape, size, color, height. It comes in more than one way. And I'm in this new season, this new uh resurgence. I'm getting more comfortable with my body. I call it my baddie season. I am showing off my curves more because I was so
Good.
conservative and prudish and like, oh, I can't. Oh, I was an
Not
old
internally, you
lady,
weren't Scorpio.
right?
I know what's going on inside their Scorpio. You can't fool
But
me.
now,
But for
but
the external
now,
world,
yeah, for the rest of it, I was like, why am I hiding this if this is what I was given naturally? Why is this considered strange or odd or whatever? I got it. It's me. I love me and I love every part of me and every phase of me because you grow, you evolve, you change. When you get older, things ain't as tight as they used to be.
who are you
Okay?
telling?
Metabolism's a little different. I got a half
Who
a ab and and I'm working with that half ab. So
you telling? And as we are on our progression to the space of that limitless, unlimited amount of prosperity and abundance, where we do have personal chefs and trainers and all those
there it
things, and
is.
it's
There it
easier at our
is.
age, like those other people, to
Right?
stay in that space. In the meantime,
Right.
you're doing a great job at it. I mean, people might, this is going to sound really stupid, and I'm sure if this ever gets watched, I'll probably get a lot of hate for this, or people think I sound crazy, but you know just as hard as it is for you in your essence and in the way that you have to move about being in your physical state in that judgment, I face the same thing. It's still a constant mentality that I have to put in check with the way that I look and the way that I feel. And I am known for being the boy ingenue, if that makes sense. And the
Mm-hmm.
stuff I go out for good looking, I never feel good looking enough. I never feel hot enough.
And
My
I tell
body
you
never
all the
feels right.
time.
But it's just you don't, because you see, especially with social, I hope people are seeing that we're human, is what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, man.
Those expectations of us. And look, it's not even expectation. I get it. I am aware that my mama has good genes and that I am not a hideous human being on this outside, maybe internally sometimes, but outside, I know that I am okay looking, if that makes sense. But when you compare yourself to everybody else, it is so hard not to get wrapped up in that,
Mm-hmm.
especially when under your character description, it always says hot, sexy, handsome, da 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 da. And I remember in acting class when I first started, they'd always be like, "You don't have to try to act hot and be hot." But I didn't. I thought I did. I thought I did. So I was trying to be good looking. You know what I mean? And what I'm just trying to say is, I know it sounds really simple, but there is humanity in all of us, and we are all facing our own mental situations of how we can just
Mm-hmm.
embrace who we are authentically and just drop
Yeah.
into who we are. And yes, I have 4 abs that show right now, and those bottom 2 want to be covered by a little pouch right now. And it's
Hey,
maybe with
that's
age,
okay.
and it is what it is. I
It is
still
what it
rock my
is.
shirt out there. I'm off my shirt when I'm walking down the streets of New York, and you can look at that belly and be like, "Damn, he's brave." Yes, I am, because I'd rather have a
Yes, you
even
are.
tan. And I sweat, so I don't care. I don't care. But it was nice when I was younger to even still hate my body, even though I had an 8 pack, and be like, "Oh my
Oh my
god," go walk
God,
down the
that's
street.
just the thing. It's like,
You know?
why were we were when we were did that movie, all of us had abs, like legit abs. I had abs and I was the fat bitch. Like that's the part I don't understand. I had abs and you
But
still
we
calling
were
me
we were
fat.
supple and young. We were supple and young. Yeah,
I
I
don't
know. That's the crazy
understand.
part. That's the that's the craziest part. The craziest part. I mean, I was at the gym every morning at 4 a.m. before we shot to make sure that I was on set by 6 or 6:30, sometimes 3:30. So, you know, you do what you got to
I
do.
ate I ate
You got to show up.
nothing. I ate nothing but like lean rice
Yeah,
cakes, air.
yeah. But yet you didn't have to. You actually had the freedom to eat as much as you
To eat
wanted
as
because of
much as
your
I
role
wanted.
description.
Right.
How
But what
dare
y'all
you?
wait, but here's the twisted part. Like, because I was we were dancing. We were dancing, we were tumbling, we were really moving. I was
Yeah,
burning so much. I was hungry. I
yeah,
was hungry. So I
yeah.
saved for those moments where I had to eat on camera, so I didn't eat off camera because I was eating on camera and I was eating the entire time on camera. It got to the
Right.
point where the props guy would come wheel the craft service cart to me and was like, okay, what we doing for this scene? I was like, give me the Doritos because that's easy. We ain't got to replace that.
Mhm.
Like, that's, yes. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
And I still had
And you
abs.
still had abs. Yeah, even with all that we talked about, and you having the incredible amount of success that you've had in the industry and outside of it, you know, rejection still tries to filter its way into your head and try to make it a part of your life. And it's always going to do that, I think, and that's the most important part. And I think the really beautiful part of it is that we can really take that and be like, thank you for still showing up. That means I'm still alive.
Mm-hmm.
That means there's something greater still to be had. That means that there are more moments to be created. I can't say that that's the way that I used to handle things. It was really debilitating, but it's just such an honor to have this conversation in this space of where we both are, to be able to call you a real friend and share this journey with you, friend. And thank you so much, so much for coming on here and
Of
sharing the pieces
course.
of you that you did. I love you and I appreciate you.
Love you too. Forever
And
and ever.
besides shouting out your current, endeavors and everything you're doing in your life and where people can follow you, is there any other piece of rejection that you feel that is like needs to be heard or talked about?
I look at no as next opportunity.
Hmm.
Okay.
Boom. And next.
I say, okay. Yeah, and next.
Yeah. Our team and our agents, when you have decent people around you, they'll say that. They'll be like, okay, on to the next. It's really easy to say that. But when you have all
Mm-hmm.
of that other stuff riding on you, all the pressure, the weight of the world, so to speak, it is really hard to take that off and just be like, yes, on to the next until you do the work. When you do this
Mm-hmm.
internal work, and it's okay. It is okay for it not to be okay for a second. It is
It is
like
okay to cry. It is
it
okay
is
to
okay to
scream. It
feel
is okay to feel. It is okay to want something and just be
and
like,
be
yo, I
disappointed.
really wanted that. Feel all of those things. Embrace all of those things because it makes you human. It makes you who you are. It makes you understand that it is okay.
It makes
Please
you
understand that
great.
that's
It
okay.
makes you
It
great when
does.
you were able to move past it. One more little thing that I have that's on my head I want to talk about because I was watching Wimbledon and there was the semifinals, and Ons Aujor, I don't know what's her last name, but Ons is her first name, and Sabalenka were playing, and Sabalenka was playing out of this world. And I was watching Ons, and they were in the second set, and she was down to break, I think, or they might have been on serve, but she was almost going to get broken, and she just looked like I internally said I was like, oh, because Sabalenka and then hit some amazing shot again. I was like, it's just her day. It could just be Sabalenka's day, right? But then I thought, maybe not. What if it's just her moment? What if you can just say, she's having a great amount of moments up to this space for now. Those moments, that was her moment. That was her moment. That was
Mm-hmm.
her moment.
Mm-hmm.
Not give her the whole day. And that's exactly what Ons did. She didn't give her the whole day. And through that mental toughness and champion heart, she won the match. So instead of that space of being like, oh, it's just someone's day, I thought maybe if
Mm-mm.
we bring that into our lives, in our auditions, in our competitives, in the competitive aspect, or even just in our simple spaces of being like, instead of giving something so much, maybe it's just that moment. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, you got that moment. This next
That
one,
works.
I'm showing
That
up for it.
works. Yeah, that works with everything though. Like yes, the rejection, but even with anger. Okay,
Right.
I'm angry for that moment. Let it go.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be all
I
day.
acknowledge it. It doesn't need to be the rest of your day. Let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I'm in pain. I'm hurt. That person broke my heart. Feel it. That was that moment. Let it go. Because you heal and you move on, and greater things come. If you're still angry for the rest of the day, who mad but you? If you're still if you still broken, who
Who
sad but
broke but
you?
you?
You're right.
Do you think though,
Or
as a
like
go, go.
no, I was like if you feel that rejection for that moment, don't let it carry you through the rest of your life.
100%. Do you think it was, I realized that I avoided so much to save myself in my youth and in my 20s because it was easier just to avoid feeling it and to keep moving instead of actually
Mm,
in, which I realize is what was hard, why it was hard for me to be in an intimate relationship with another man, right? Or find a
mm-hmm,
relationship and all those things. Did you have to, and I think it's people like us that are in the industry and you're working from such a young age, I think that's a natural component of what your managers and your team and your parents, it's okay, on to the next. Oh yeah, on to the next. But then it was just avoiding the actual, because if I felt disappointed,
pain.
then I was
Mm-hmm.
losing. If I felt the pain,
Yeah.
then I was a victim. It's like it's weird. It was such a positive mindset that was so beneficial
but
that
a
ultimately was kind of a crutch.
toxic. It was
Yeah.
so. It's a twisted, toxic crutch. It's
Yeah.
it's sustain you for the moment, but not a lifetime. You
Right.
can't keep putting a band-aid over it. So my band-aid was I had to step back
Yep.
because it was the ultimate. You get
Healing
tore down.
tool.
So yeah, it was the ultimate healing tool so that I could reset to come back. You can't. You can't. I mean, think of Kobe Bryant as one of my favorite mental players. Like Kobe was great just in everything that he did, but mentally, that's where the game was played for him.
Yep.
And when he had his injury where they were like, "Oh, he's done. His knee is out," and then came back and killed, it was a
Hmm.
mental game for him. Kobe
Yep.
played when he was sick. That man had the flu. Michael Jordan did that too. That man had 104 temperature flu, and he was like, "Mm-mm, I'm here to play. This is a mental game. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep fighting. I'm gonna keep going." And you sometimes you have to reset your mentality of it to push you forward. Yes, that's a great on to the next one, but deal with the root problem of it. And that's the hurt, the pain that there so that you can move forward and go on. I know I'm
I
all
look
over
to
the place right
sports.
now.
No, you're not. You're making sense. You're leading me into like I think sports in the same way. Like to me, um, it's a champion's heart. It's a champion's heart.
Yeah.
I mean, I call her my messiah is Serena Williams. She did all the things you're talking about. She was injured, she would still win. She was sick, she would still win. And it was the never giving up and staying present. But she was so good at still feeling. You could see when she was
Hmm.
disappointed.
Oh
She would be in that space
yeah.
for a second, but then she would go, not today, switch back into beast
And
mode
go.
and annihilate. Like she is, that is,
It's called Kobe calls it Mamba mentality.
yeah,
That's the Mamba mentality.
yeah. And you have that, my friend. You have that in spades. I'm proud of you. Oh, and
Bitch!
I guess that's time. Your center light is out. How do we
Let's
fix that?
done!
Lights, camera, scene instead of action.
No! My battery died on my.
Damn. All right.
Hang
Well,
on,
hey. Oh, you can plug it in.
me.
Well, while you're doing that, start thinking about how we you can. Damn, look at that, and the lights come on just like that. Talk about what you got going on, and where people can find you. And do find her. She's incredible. If you already haven't,
Okay,
and if you're
everybody.
watching this, you probably have. But
Yay! You can find me on Only One Giovanni, only the number one Giovanni on all platforms Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Yeah, that's all. Those
oh
three.
man,
And
yeah.
then, yeah. And then if not, you can always go to my website, giovannisamuels.com. I am an acting coach and teacher, so you can go to gsactingworkshops.com
Mm-hmm.
and I teach private lessons for everybody. I did write a book.
Where is it? How do you not have that ready for the millions of people watching this?
Ta-da!
Boom.
It's called All That You Need to Know About Show Business. And it takes
Nice. I
you
see what you did
from
there.
getting an agent. Yeah, you saw what I did there. It takes you from, hey, how do you get an agent to, oh, I'm on set. What do I do on set? It has an actor's dictionary at the end to kind of give you some terminology of what's going on and what's what. And it's
Amazing.
available on Amazon or on gsactingworkshops.com.
Amazing. That's incredible. That is such an incredible feat to accomplish that. Look at you.
Yeah.
I love you, friend.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you so
know.
much for
Thank you.
just mama mentality over here. Just mom being through the world.
Oh, and now I got another book coming out in the fall, but we're gonna talk about
Perfect.
that one.
Great. All right. Great. Well, we'll talk about that next time. So you don't
Fun.
want nobody to get in that and jack your idea.
No, no.
I love you. Thank you
I
so
love you.
much.
Thanks, babe.
And you, my fellow rejects, thank you so much for watching this. I hope that this found the right ears and it is the inspiration that you needed today in this moment to move past your fears and go out there and get rejected. So much love. Thank you for watching. And until next time, love you, Gio.
Bye.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. But most importantly, go out there today and get rejected, you beautiful rejects. I am Gustavo Victor Carr, and this is Rejection and Reflection. Until next time.